Chapter 3 Captain Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack Sparrow looked at the ships in Port Royal. His boat was small and old. Captain Jack Sparrow نظر إلى السفن ships in Port Royal. His boat مركبه was small and old. He wanted a new bigger ship. أراد سفينة أكبر وجديدة وأكبر حجما. Bigger, أكبر. He had no money, but that wasn't a problem. لم يكن لديه أي مال, but لكن ذلك لم يكن مشكلة. That wasn't a problem. Jack Sparrow was a pirate. Jack Sparrow كان قرصانا, pirate, and he had a plan. وكانت لديه خطة. He had a plan. He looked at the Dauntless for a long time. نظر إلى الدونتلس وهي السفينة for a long time لمدة طويلة. It was a big ship. كانت سفينة كبيرة with 50 guns ب50 مدفعا. Then he saw the interceptor. عند ذلك رأى interceptor. It was smaller but faster. Interceptor هي سفينة أخرى, اسم لسفينة, وكانت أصغر حجما لكنها كانت أسرع. Faster. He wanted it. أرادها. There were 2 sailors next to the interceptor. Jack went to them. كان هناك بحارين sailors بجانب the interceptor. ذهب إليهما. Jack went to them. Hey, you can't come here, one of them said. He looked at Jack's old boat and laughed. Who are you and what's that? قال له لا يمكنك المجيء هنا. You can't come here. أحدهم قال له هذا. One of them said. ونظر إلى المركب الكبير لجاك وضحك. Jack's old boat and laughed. من أنت? Who are you? And what's that? ما هو ذلك? Said Jack, that's my boat. قال Jack, ذلك مركبي. He smiled at the man and looked carefully at the interceptor. The man smiled back. ابتسم للرجل ونظر بعناية carefully للinterceptor. وابتسم له الرجل. I like your ship, Jack said. وقال جاك تعجبني سفينتك. Yes, it's the fastest ship in the Caribbean. وقال نعم إنها أسرع سفينة في الكاريبي. Fastest ship. Really? said Jack. Isn't the Black Pearl the fastest ship? أليست the Black Pearl هي أسرع سفينة? The sailor laughed. Ghost stories are for children, he said. وقال له بأن قصص الأشباح هي للأطفال. Ghost stories are for children. It isn't a story, said the other sailor to his friend. وقال البحار الآخر لصديقه إنها ليست قصة. It isn't a story. I saw that ship. رأيت تلك السفينة. He turned to Jack, but Jack wasn't there. التفت لجاك لكن جاك لم يعد هناك. لم يكن هناك, wasn't there. He was on the interceptor. The sailors ran after him. وركض البحرين وراءه, يعني تبعاه. What are you doing? ماذا تفعل? They shouted. صرخا. You can't go up there. لا يمكنك الذهاب إلى هناك. Go up يعني يذهب للأعلى. What's your name? Smith, Jack answered. أجابهما Jack Smith. And what are you doing in Port Royal, Mr. Smith? وماذا تفعل في Port Royal يا سيد سميث? I want one of these ships, Jack said. ورد عليهما Jack. أريد إحدى هذه السفن. The sailors thought about this. فكر البحارين في هذا. High above the harbour, Elizabeth stood with Commodore Norrington. It was a hot day and her dress was very heavy. High above the harbour يعني فوق المرفأ. Harbor Elizabeth stood. وقفت Elizabeth with Commodore Norrington. وقفت مع Commodore Norrington. It was a hot day. كان يوما ساخنا. And her dress was very heavy. وكان فستانها dress ثقيلا. Look at the ships down in the harbor. انظر إلى السفن في المرفأ. She said قالت They're beautiful. إنها جميلة. And you're more beautiful, said Commodore Norrington. وقال Commodore Norrington أنت أجمل. You're a fine woman. امرأة رائعة. Elizabeth didn't say anything. لم تقل Elizabeth أي شيء. I hope, he said, I hope that one day you will marry me, Elizabeth. أمل أن تتزوجي بي يوما ما. Marry, Elizabeth said. Marry you? She moved back, but she couldn't move easily in her new dress. Suddenly she fell. فجأة سقطت. She fell down into the harbor below. سقطت في المرفأ في الأسفل. On the interceptor, Jack and the two sailors saw everything. The sailors didn't move. وعلى السفينة interceptor, جاك والبحارين رأوا كل شيء. لكن البحارين لم يتحركا. Quick, Jack said to them. Aren't you going to help her? بسرعة أخبرهما جاك وقال لهما جاك ألن تذهب لمساعدتها أو ألن تساعداها Aren't you going to help her? But we can't swim. لكن لا نستطيع السباحة. Here, said Jack, take these and don't lose them. خذا هذه ولا تفقدها. He gave them his hat and his gun. أعطاهما قبعته ومسدسه. Gun, hat. Jack jumped into the water and swam to Elizabeth. She was under the water. He took her hand and tried to help her, but her dress was too heavy. قفز في الماء وسبح لإليزابيث. كانت تحت الماء. أخذ يدها وحاول مساعدتها، لكن قميصها كان ثقيلا جدا. Jack found his knife and cut the dress off. عثر جاك على سكينه وقطع الفستان. Cut the dress off. Then he pulled the young woman out. وعند ذلك أخرج المرأة الشابة من الماء. He pulled the young woman out. Pull يعني أخرجها، جرها. Commodore Norrington and Governor Swan ran down to the harbor. ركض Commodore Norrington و Governor Swan إلى الميناء harbor. Thank you, said the governor. Elizabeth, my dearest daughter, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine, said Elizabeth. She sat up. جلست. Norrington looked at Jack. Good man, he said. Thank you. Give me your hand. Then he saw it, a white P on Jack's hand. I know you, he said. You're a pirate. He looked at Jack carefully. Your name is Jack Sparrow. نورينتون نظر إلى جاك وقال رجل طيب أو رجل جيد، شكرا لك، أعطني يدك. Give me your hand. عند ذلك رأى حرف بي أبيض على يد جاك وقال أنا أعرفك. I know you. أنت قرصان. You're a pirate. ونظر إلى جاك بعناية وقال اسمك Your name is Jack Sparrow. اسمك هو جاك سبارو. Captain Jack Sparrow please, said Jack. من فضلك القبطان جاك سبارو. يعني اسمي القبطان جاك سبارو. I don't see your ship, Captain, said Norrington. And you're a pirate. لا أرى سفينتك يا قبطان. وأنت pirate, قرصان. He wanted to take one of our ships. The sailors from the interceptor were with them now. وقال البحارين من على الانترسبتر He wanted أراد أن يأخذ إحدى سفننا to take one of our ships. Norrington looked at Jack and laughed. Then he turned to the sailors. Norrington نظر إلى جاك وضحك laughed. عند ذلك then انعطف إلى البحارين. He turned to the sailors. Take him away, he said. وقال خذوه بعيدا. Take him away. Put him in chains now. دعوه في قيدوه. Put him in chains. The sailors put chains on Jack. البحارين وضعوا القيود على Jack. Chains هي سلاسل أو قيود. You can't do that, said Elizabeth. Maybe he's a pirate, but he helped me. وقالت إليزابيث لا يمكنكم فعل ذلك. You can't do that. ربما هو قرصان لكنه ساعدني. Suddenly Jack moved. He jumped behind Elizabeth and put his chains around her. فجأة تحرك جاك. قفز إلى وراء إليزابيث ووضع أغلاله أو سلاسله حولها. Put his chains around her. The sailors showed their guns. البحارين أظهر مسدسيهما. No, no, don't shoot, shouted Norrington. Be careful, he'll kill her. وقال نورينتون لا تطلق النار. Don't shoot. كونا حذرين. Be careful. سوف يقتلها. He'll kill her. Jack pulled Elizabeth back. I really don't like you, Elizabeth said to him. وقالت له إليزابيث أنا حقا لا تعجبني. لا أحبك. I really don't like you. I helped you and now you're helping me, Jack said. قال لها جاك ساعدتك والآن أنت ستساعدينني. He smiled. Then suddenly he took the chains off Elizabeth and ran. ابتسم وعند ذلك فجأة suddenly أزال السلاسل من إليزابيث وركض فر. He took the chains off Elizabeth and ran. Get him, shouted Norrington. Get him now. اقبض عليه. صرخ نورينتون. اقبض عليه الآن. Get him.